hard in some ways to start giving out tips about crappie fishing. For me, it's not really so much about the rod and the reel and the which jig and what color and what size and all that, as it is just a more generalized overall understanding of the biology of the crappie. Because if you don't understand the crappie, even if you don't really know you understand the biology of the crappie, if you're catching crappie on a regular basis, you have an idea of where to go and when to go and how to target them, then you are understanding the biology of the fish. And that is the basic thing that's going to catch you fish, is to understand the biology of the fish. By understanding your lake, your reservoir, your river, whatever it is, by understanding where the crappie hang out, what time of year they hang out, when to expect them to be there. And crappie are very repeatable type fish. They don't go to one area one time only and then never go back again. I can go to an area right now. I think I could go there today pretty much probably and fish it and probably catch some crappie off of a little set of stumps. Now them stumps have been there before the lake was dammed up. It's the remains of old trees down on the bottom of the lake in a strategic little spot. Those stumps don't go away. It takes decades and decades, probably hundreds of years, for those stumps to disappear, and it may be 100 years from now those stumps will still be down there holding crappie, but they come back over and over and over again. And if you know that and you have a bunch of those little spots like that, well, you're kind of golden. You know, you've learned the biology of the fish on your lake. You know where he's at, when he's going to be there. You know the structure, how it is. You know how to fish it, what depth to fish it, to bring the lure back over the top of the crappie. So then you can get into those little particulars when it comes to, well, your presentation. Are you going to drop the lure below the crappie? No, because everybody knows crappie feed up. So that's one of the first things you learn is crappie feed up. Doesn't mean that if you get the crappie right in front of him, he's not going to hit it. He's probably going to hit it more readily if it's right in front of him than if it is 15 or 20 feet. That's just the laws of nature. Crappie is not going to want to go out of his way and go, oh, well, I've got the bait right in front of me. I think I'll not eat it and I'll wait till one comes up there 20 or feet in front of me. So, you know, you just have to be logical about that. And everybody's always, oh, crappie feed up, crappie feed up. But you know, that's just, they will feed up, but I think you're better off getting the bait right in front of them. That's my personal view on that. So then at that point, you know where your crappie are at, you're familiar with your lake, you don't have any problems with that, you understand the biology of the crappie, how they act in relation to fronts moving through, weather patterns. Like today we got kind of a windy, clear blue skies, not much cloud. It seems about like back side of a front type weather we're getting now with these fall fronts moving through. And so on days like today, to me, that's when your color choice maybe make a difference. Like to me, it seemed like when I was more in the middle of the day on a clear blue sky day like this, I would do better with a blue bait. I don't know what it was, but my little blue jigs seem to do better on these days when the just dark clear blue skies up above, and then more kind of cloudy cover days I seem to do better with my little kind of green yellowish hand tied jig. So that's just an observation, you know. It's not, I don't know that there's anything to it. It could have been a coincidence, but see, that starts to give me confidence when I go, if I went out on a day like today, I might start off with something blue and go, hey, it's clear blue sky, windy, kind of backside of a front, the crappie may be laying low, you're gonna have to get it in front of them. See, when crappie look up, you think, well, why would you use a blue? When a crappie looks up, if they feed up, what are they going to see? They're going to see the silhouette of the bait, right? They're going to see the silhouette. So if you've got like a blue plastic Bobby Garland style jig that's somewhat translucent, to me that would be good, because it's going to obscure the bait a little bit. It's not going to be so obvious. If the crappie looks up and it sees all blue, and here comes this blue translucent Bobby Garland bait coming through, and it's not standing out like a sore thumb, but it catches its eye, it's going to trigger a response to it. All right, well, let's say on that clear blue sky day you're using a bright orange, and here comes that bright orange, and it's just sticking out like a sore thumb against everything else. And see, that's not the way it works in nature for the most part. Fish are camouflaged. Little baits or little insects and invertebrates want to remain somewhat invisible to the predators, right? So they're trying to hide. They don't want to be sticking out like a sore thumb. So I think sometimes when you go with something that's too obvious, particularly on a day when the crappie are laying low, like today, clear blue skies, are hunkered down a little bit, their little bladders maybe not too comfortable because of the barometric pressure, which you know that. Most fishermen know that. You know that about barometric pressure. If you don't, then you don't understand the biology of the crappie, and maybe that's why you're not catching any fish, is that you're focused too much on your baits. You're spending too much time at these
all